Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we will be doing simplifying fractions with exponents. So in grade 10 and 11, when we are simplifying fractions with exponents, there are usually two types. The first type is where we only have multiplication. In order to solve this type, we need to prime factorize. For the second type, there is either addition or subtraction on the numerator or denominator. So if there's addition or subtraction, then you are going to use the second type. You need to take a common factor. Remember, the key thing to note is that this subtraction makes it the second type. Whereas in your first type, there's only multiplication in the top and the bottom. Let's have a look at how we will solve questions of the first type, where there is only multiplication and we need to prime factorize. If we look at this example, we first need to prime factorize all the terms. So we need to prime factorize 4, 9, 18, and 8. In order to prime factorize, we can use our calculator. So if you have a Casio calculator, you can prime factorize. Alternatively, you can use the ladder method that you would have learned either in grade 8 or 9. The ladder method is simply, if I'm trying to prime factorize 4, I take 2 into it. 2 goes into 4 2 times, then 2 goes into 2 again 1 time, and then I'm done. So I can write 4 is equal to 2 times 2, or I can write it as 2 squared. Today I'll be showing you how to do prime factorization in your calculator. So the steps are, in your calculator, first clear any information that's there. So press AC to clear everything. We will be trying to prime factorize 18 using the calculator. So after you press AC, type 18 into your calculator. So as you type, you'll see 18 there. Then you press equals, the equals button, and 18 should pop up in the bottom. Then you are going to press Shift and the factorization button. So there's your factorization button there. So our factorization button is here, and if we zoom in, we see it there. After you press Shift Factorize, you will notice that 18 will then change to 2 times 3 squared, and that's your factorization for 18. So we have 18 is 2 times 3 squared. Now I want you to apply this method to 4, 9, and 8. So if you applied this method, so you can pause this video and factorize the remaining numbers. If you plugged it into your calculator correctly, you would have had 4 is equal to 2 squared. You would have had 9 is equal to 3 squared, and you would have had 8 is equal to 2 cubed. Now let's substitute it into our fraction. So instead of 4, I'm going to write 2 squared to the power 2y minus 1 times, instead of 9, I'm going to write 3 squared to the power y plus 1 all over. Instead of 18, I'm going to use my factorized form, 2 times 3 squared to the power y. Instead of 8, I'm going to write 2 cubed to the power y minus 1. I can now simplify this further. So when you have an exponent, so 2 to the y, and there's another exponent on the inside, you need to multiply the 2 by everything. So 2 times 2y and 2 times 1. So you'll end up with 2 to the 4y minus 2 times. The same goes with the 3 squared. So it will be 2 times y and 2 times 1. So it will be 3 to the 2y plus 2 all over. This y gets distributed, so it will be 1 times y. So it will be 2 to the y times 3 to the 2 gets multiplied by y, so it's 2y times this 3 gets multiplied by y, so it's 2 to the 3y. The 3 also gets multiplied by minus 1, minus 3. Perfect. So now that we have everything either as a power of 2 or a power of 3, we can get rid of the fraction altogether. We can start with 2. All powers on the top, we keep the sign as is. So here we can write 4y minus 2. For powers in the bottom, we need to change the sign. So that y and that 3y minus 3, the signs need to change. So that becomes minus y and minus 3y. the minus 3 changes to a plus 3. Everything in the bottom, the sign needs to change. We do the same thing for the 3. So it's 2 to the y plus 2 because that power is on the top. Then we have the 2y in the denominator. So the sign needs to change. So if that's a 2y, it needs to become minus 2y. If we simplify this here, minus y minus 3y becomes minus 4y. That's going to cancel with 4y, and you'll just be left with 3 minus 2, which is 2 to the 1. 2y cancels with minus 2y, and so you'll just be left with 3 to the 2. And if you put that in your calculator, it's simply 2 times 9, which is 18, and we're done with this question. Let's move on to the next question. In our next question, we have a subtraction here. So that means we are not going to solve this question by prime factorization. We are in fact going to try to do it using common factor. The first step when you're solving this is to split the exponents. And what I mean by this is, e.g., if you have, for example, 4 to the x plus 3, you need to write that as 4 to the x times 4 to the 3. Remember the rule? If you have two exponents, 4 to the x times 4 to the 3, you need to add them and they become 4 to the x plus 3. Okay, so that's what I mean by splitting the exponent. In the question above, we have 2 to the a plus 1. So that's going to split into 2 to the a times 2 to the 1 minus 2 to the a times 2 to the minus 1. So the a minus 1 split into a and minus 1, and the a plus 1 split into a and plus 1. So I didn't write the plus because it's still positive. All over, the denominator does not need to be split up because it's simply 2 to the a. On the top, I want to take out a common factor. So there's two terms in the top. There's term 1 and there's term 2. So the minus sign separates the terms. That's term 1 and term 2. In the first term, I'm going to take out 2 to the a as common factor. And in the second term, I'm also going to take out 2 to the a because that's my common factor from the two terms. If I take out 2 to the a from the first term, what's remaining? It's 2 to the 1. So it would be 2 to the 1. This minus sign stays. Minus. In the second term, if I take out this 2 to the a, what is remaining? It's 2 to the minus 1 all over 2 to the a. The 2 to the a cancels and I'm left with 2 to the 1 minus 2 to the minus 1. You can plug it into your calculator or you can do it. 2 to the 1 is simply 2. 2 to the minus 1 is 1 over 2. And 2 minus 1 over 2 is 1.5 or 3 over 2. And we are done for today's lesson.